the document. I'm Amanda Edie McKeithen, and I wear a lot of hats. I am a mom, I am a wife, I am a storyteller, I am a creative being, and most importantly, I'm on my secure journey. I would say probably for about the past 4 years, I've been on this journey of trying to figure out who I am physically, emotionally, mentally, financially, and spiritually. And it has been a ride. But I'm so excited to know that I'm not alone and that there are other women, other Black women who are going through this secure journey with me. I'm super excited to know that I'm not by myself and I can create a safe space where Black women can come together and share the ups and downs of being a Black woman in America. Black women are some of the most misunderstood, overlooked, mistreated human beings. It's unfortunate. But Black women are some of the most strongest, powerful, most resilient living things. And it's beautiful when our stories are shared. I invite you to listen. Listen as we share our truth. Listen as we be our authentic selves. Listen as we just be real. I invite you to allow our journeys to push you to go through your own secure journey. This is secure. Secure yourself, sis.
Let's see. Heartbreak for me was 1984. I lost my great-grandmother. It was my first time dealing with loss of that magnitude and knowing that someone who was there every day was no longer going to be there. And then I grew up in a modern-day bordello or brothel.
I feel the weight, a lot of weight on my shoulders. Because you try to show up with a face that looks like you have it all together, but sometimes it's like you want to break due to all the weight that you have on your shoulders. Everything that you have on your plate with those roles, and for my situation, being a solo parent, the only parent due to being a widow.
Your first memory of heartbreak?
I lost a loved one who was my grandfather. My grandfather was honestly the one person in my life who was there for me during childhood. Taught me so many things. He's just a wonderful person. And it was an unexpected death. So it was absolutely heartbreaking for me.
My life has been colorful as the fabric that I wear right now. Heartbreak for me was loss. Trauma was my introductory to being intimate with another person. My first encounter with what is, I guess, supposed to be making love or sex with someone robbing me of it. And I was brutally raped. It was horrible. To the point, over 26 years later, I still have dark places in my memory. I have paid to be on someone's couch. I have been through counseling and there are still dark spots. Parts are missing, right? And in those parts that are missing, I have traumatic responses to certain smells, to certain sounds, voices, because they take me to a place where it's void, where I can't grasp or make it make sense.
I had the weight that my late husband used to carry. I now carry that because I had to not just think about myself, but think about my daughter and plus what he would want best for her. My first journey of heartbreak started when I lost my grandmother in an accident that I was in, knowing that could have taken my life, but it had taken hers. And then years later, marrying and then not thinking that something would happen so tragically to your husband. Because when you're young, you're thinking that okay, we're at this age, we have so much more life to live, so much more opportunities that may present itself as a couple, but then tragedy strikes. So that was heavy because it was very unexpected. He passed due to a motorcycle accident. And after, losing him, it's like you're having to start all over with trying to find yourself because it's like, you put yourself, I guess, with him thinking that, okay, this is who I'm going to be with for a certain amount of years, but then now it's just you. So what do I do now? Or really, who am I?
You're a survivor of domestic violence. How has that impacted your journey of security? Tell us a little bit more about being a survivor. Take us on a journey of you going through that, if you can.
Sure. So this journey and this experience of domestic violence and being a survivor was very, very tough. It's been a lot to get through and very traumatic because it's been ongoing. It's been a very isolating feeling, not being able to be vulnerable or not having people to reach out to, depend on, and things of that nature. I didn't have any of that. I did not have assistance. Now, of course, at this age, I'm aware of resources that are available and people who are Black, who are deaf, who are queer. I have a community now, but I didn't then. So being a survivor like myself, I can provide the support for people that I did not have when I needed it.
And the only way that I found to get over my trauma was to go through my trauma. For the longest time, I kind of carried it, right? And it was a bag that just moved from place to place with me. Kind of like when you move in your home and it one dress that still hit every curve, so you want to keep it, even though the thread is starting to get a little bit bare. But it's your comfort, it's your security. I carried my trauma like it was my security, because as long as I kept it up like a wall, no one else could get in to hurt me. And it wasn't until I decided to do self-work, which is looking at myself, did it start to dissipate.
So I had to go see a deaf therapist that I was exposed to help me deal with the trauma of that. I was able to get a different therapist about 8 years ago that was also deaf. When I was younger, I had a hearing therapist, but having a deaf therapist allowed me to connect with that individual in a way that I couldn't before. It gave me the tools and coping mechanisms and skills that I had not had previously. So they helped me really process that journey and deal with the heartbreak and grief that came along with losing my grandfather. And also gave me a lot of hope for the rest of my life and what that could look like. So I wanted to make sure that I share with folks, it's okay. We all experience heartbreak and you can get through it. It's just that as individuals, we have to make sure that we provide support. And as a deaf person, it's a smaller community to help you navigate that journey.
And I think I wrote about it in my book. I had to sit in front of a mirror, naked, and look until I saw myself. Meaning when we go in the mirror, we put our makeup on, we put our face on that we're going to give to the world. But we always hide behind that face.
Trying to get people to understand. Sometimes I feel like people don't really understand like what you're going through unless they've really truly walked in your shoes. And even when it comes to your feelings and your emotions, not everyone is as understanding to what you're going through. So I think that's been like the biggest challenge, to get people to understand what you're going through and to also just show you respect from dealing with hurt and just dealing with the tragedy and loss of something so significant that was a part of your life.
Or something that my great grandmother used to say before she passed: put your teeth away. Don't go skinning and grinning in everybody's face. Everybody don't deserve that part of you. That's double-edged, right? Because if you don't become vulnerable enough to let people in, then you're not even giving yourself time to heal. So the discernment has to come in, and you have to rely on what is good for you right now and hold on to the things that bring and add value, while literally letting go of everything that means you no good. And that's the part that was so hard in my trauma release, was letting go of people that meant me no good because I saw the good in them. And I wanted them to see it, but because they couldn't and me holding on was keeping me in a place. And I had to let go.
I had to take time away just to be in solitude and just doing what I felt that was best for me and things that brought me peace. And sometimes things that brought me peace, it could have just been sitting in my own home in silence, listening to music and music that resonated with my soul and with my spirit at that time and what I was going through. Be sure you have a strong support system and connect with people that you trust. Because without having people in my life that I could trust with this journey that I'm on, it would be very difficult and very hard to try to put the pieces back together that I needed to put together so that my life could be the way it is today, and not just for me, but for my daughter. Because I feel if I was all to pieces, then what is that going to mean for her? If I can't show her a good example of how a mother still needed to be in a child's life, then I really wouldn't be no good for her.
I want you to talk to young Sheena, who has experienced losing her grandfather, has experienced trauma, heartbreak. What are some things that you would say to her to encourage her?
I would tell her, Sheena, your life is going to be fine. You're going to deal with challenges. You're going to deal with frustrations and heartbreak, but you will get through it. I am you. So this journey that we're going on will get us where we need to be. You're better than you think you are, and you will be just fine.
Me talking to little Tyenella, Inger, hey, listen, I know it's hard right now. I know you don't understand why everything is hitting you, but it's going to be okay. You're going to make it. You are more than every situation you will face. And there's going to be someone that's going to come along and he's going to love every part of you. He's going to love you like God loves the church. And you're going to be a fantastic person on the inside and the outside. But never lose sight and always work on yourself.
Let's say that you meet someone in the deaf or hearing impaired community and they are going through some of the challenges that you have experienced on your own secure journey. What are some things, some advice that you could give them? What is one thing that you've learned?
Self-care is so critical. Invest in yourself first. Mental health is absolutely imperative to this journey. It really made a difference for me. Growing up, you feel like you've got to agree with what everybody is saying, what everybody is doing, but you have to realize that you've got to learn to think for yourself. And when you do that, life changes.
You said self-care. We ain't touched on this, so self-care. What does that look like for you?
So for me, self-care includes mental health breaks. I took one back in March. And what I have to do is just disconnect. I have to get away from work. I have to get away from absolutely everything and allow myself to just sit, think, and just be. It helps to bring me mental clarity. It helps to remind myself to think for myself, not make assumptions about things, and not get lost in like the everyday tasks of doing things. There are certain things that I haven't experienced, and I want to be able to have those experiences. I know that there's nothing I can't do in life, especially with my partner. I have a supportive partner who's with me through this journey, and it's just a testament that things do work out.
Step back and just think, have a moment to think. Think about where you see yourself 5 to 10 years from now. And sometimes writing down things that you want to see happen in your life. That was one thing that I found myself doing, was like just writing certain things down. And then now, as I look back, it's, oh my God, I used to write this down. Like when I had seizures, I used to write in a journal the life that I wanted to live, not knowing that I would ever be able to live it because I had accepted the fact that Seizures was going to be a part of my life. And now here I am. I'm able to drive. I had a child. I had gotten married. And at one time I thought that I could never have those things because, like I said, I had accepted the fact that seizures was my life. I just encourage anybody, just never give up. Sometimes I really don't know what's next, but I often pray and ask God to lead me. Continue to keep faith, have hope, and never give up on your dreams.
And for that Black woman in me, it's okay to use your voice, to stand up, to be seen, to be heard, and to take up room. Because I've earned it. I've earned it. And as a daily reminder that it's okay to take up room. I will no longer water myself down because you can't take me at 100 proof. That's my motto and my mantra. And if you need it and adopt it and need to take it for yourself during this journey to secure who you are, it's a daily journey of security. That's not something that once you get it, it stays. You have to fight for it. And it's worth fighting for.
Just take the picture. My dream is to create safe spaces for Black women. My dream is to highlight the ups and downs of Black women in America. My dream is to show Black women that their stories matter. I can't wait for episode 2.